The Avengers have assembled. What's up, everybody? Endgame. That's all I have to say. Avengers Endgame. I finally got a chance to see the movie. I just got back from it, and forgive me for not being too overly enthusiastic. It's just, I think I might have popped a nerve watching the movie because this movie just did so many things to me in my heart, mostly, that I'm kind of in a state of aftershock. I'm still processing what I just saw. I still can't believe that I saw some of those stuff in a movie at all. But unfortunately, now I actually have to talk about it. Now, I want to be completely honest with you guys. I'm gonna stay as far away from spoilers as possible. I'm gonna be hesitant to talk about some of the things we saw in the trailers, because only spoiler I'm gonna give here is that some of the things we saw in the trailers weren't necessarily in the movie. That's it. So let's just close that chapter of this review. Anyways, I love this movie. This might be my second or third favorite movie of the year. I'm probably gonna have to reevaluate the ranking of it. I still just love Shazam that much that I'm willing to give it the top spot. I really enjoyed the Lego Movie 2, but I think once I actually see Endgame for the second time, or maybe even a third or fourth or maybe 10th, maybe I'll change up the rankings a bit, and maybe Avengers Endgame is going to end up being my second favorite one. But so far, I don't think this movie is as good as Shazam. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it's as good as Infinity War. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. To me, in my mind, this is just a little bit of a ranking system that I've devised for the Avengers movies. To me, it's Infinity War at the top, then Endgame, then Age of Ultron, and then there's the first Avengers in the bottom there. Because for those of you who've been following my channel for the past year or so, you might know that I'm not really the biggest fan of the first Avengers. I kind of thought that movie dragged a lot in the first half, maybe even more, and the ending, the last 30 or 40 minutes were just amazing, incredible. Endgame kind of suffers from the same problems, with a little bit of a twist, and I'm gonna say this. The movie is kind of divided into several parts. There's a prologue, which is not a spoiler, I guess. There's the middle area, and then there's the last hour. The last hour is one of the best things in the MCU, period. The prologue was also very good, very amazing, very well done. It's that middle area where the movie kind of struggles a little bit. It kind of tries to be a little bit like Infinity War, to do certain things that Infinity War did right, and it kind of failed on some of those levels. The transitions between certain scenes, I think, wasn't really handled all that well. Infinity War somehow managed to find a very good balance, bouncing several different storylines all together. You had the stuff on Earth with Cap and the others. You had the stuff with space, with Tony and Strange and Spider-Man. You had the stuff with the Guardians. You had some of the stuff with Wakanda. And the movie basically juggled around all these things together, and it really worked. Also, it also had the stuff with Thanos and his minions. So the movie did a very good job balancing that, kind of like Thanos' balancing act, which I'm definitely not gonna do with Stormbreaker on my finger, just to let you guys know. Endgame, in that specific regard, I think it bit off a little more than it could chew, to be honest. It kind of juggled more storylines, which is kind of ironic because it had fewer characters in it, but it juggled more storylines in the middle part than Endgame did, than Infinity War did the entire movie, and it really wasn't as well done as Infinity War. And I'm sorry that I'm comparing Endgame to Infinity War, but that's just the best example I can give. When Infinity War jumped from this place to that storyline, it kind of had a nice flow to it. It was a lot better paced. With Endgame, certain storylines seem to kind of be shoved aside in favor of some other ones. And to be honest, I was so wrapped up in 2 or 3 storylines that I'd completely forgotten about the other ones, only when they were actually on screen, and I was like, oh yeah, that's happening, I forgot about that. So that's not really what I wanted with Endgame, so that part is probably my biggest gripe with this movie. Like I said, the final hour was... I'm still processing it. I was just sitting there in a row of just super fans. I was sitting with this thing, with this thing, with this thing, obviously, and we were just sitting there screaming our heads off. We couldn't believe what was happening, and I'm not gonna spoil anything because that's not what I want to do, but we saw certain things happen, certain characters do certain things, certain characters we didn't expect to see show up, and it seemed like every single new thing that appeared on screen was just wah! 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 And so that was pretty much the response, not just from me, but from other people who were sitting with me in the theater. We just lost our minds. I'm still processing it. It's kind of hard to believe that I saw some of the things that I saw in this movie. The best way I can explain what I saw without spoiling too much is this. Just look at this very good. So just imagine this on the big screen. And if you got what I was going for, then that's all the better for you. So that was incredible. As far as wrapping things up, this movie is in fact the conclusion of what the Russo brothers, the directors of the movie, and what Kevin Feige, the producer of all of the MCU movies, this movie is the conclusion of what they call the Infinity Saga. The Infinity Saga, which started, believe it or not, with 2008's Iron Man, and stretched itself all the way to 2019's Endgame. All of the movies had something to contribute to this specific movie. Some obviously more than others, but this movie touched on certain things that have happened in every single movie, even the forgotten ones, even certain things that you forgot about, that you didn't expect to be referenced in this movie, much less being shown. This movie was a big wrap-up of everything. It was the conclusion to end all conclusions. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it's not necessarily the ending I would have wanted. It's definitely not the ending that a lot of other people who were in the theater with me wanted to see, but I'm gonna tell you this, from a storyline point of view, and if you look at the entire MCU, start to finish, this was the ending that should have been. Everything that needed to happen happened. I am not sorry about some of the things that may or may not have happened, that maybe I wasn't exactly okay with, but what needed to happen, happened. Every subplot was resolved, some subplots kind of sprouted from this movie, but like I said, everything that needed to happen happened. A lot of the characters, if not all the characters, had closure. Every single character had his own arc, his own storyline that either began in another movie or it began in this movie and reached a full conclusion again, much like other Avengers movies, you can make an argument that there wasn't a single one main character that was a definite, I'm not gonna say standout, but you can easily make the argument that this was a Hawkeye movie, or this was a Thor movie, or a Captain America movie, or an Iron Man movie. This movie didn't really have a definitive protagonist in all the best ways. So that's really all I have to say. There's a few minor nitpicks here and there. All I'm gonna say is that, without spoiling anything, I really did think the end battle could have been longer. Yes, I said it. This movie is well over 3 hours long, and I didn't really notice that because the movie just flew by me so fast I didn't even notice I was sitting in the theater for 3 hours. The movie could have been 5 hours, and I would have been very well okay with this. I mean, as a Captain America person, I can just say, I can watch this all day. And I really can. I could have watched another hour or two of this movie and it really wouldn't bother me so much. So, ironically, I think this movie was a little bit too short, but it was as long as it needed to be, I guess, without dragging on too many stuff. There are a few just tiny stuff that I think are kind of plot holes where the MCU kind of, no spoilers, kind of tripped over its own continuity, in a way. They left some things unresolved, but I guess that's why you have headcanon, so you can organize these things in your head. I guess that's why certain characters are now getting TV shows based on them to kind of fill in the gaps that sort of happened in this movie, and overall, this is a very satisfying conclusion to this saga that I've been following for the better part of a decade now. So, thank you guys for watching. I really hope I made some sort of sense without spoiling too much. By the way, I am saying it right now. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna promise anything because I don't like to make promises I can't keep, but I'm going to try to make an open spoiler discussion about the entire movie and the entire MCU as a whole in a few weeks to, give people a chance to watch the movie, to not get spoiled, because I don't really want people to get spoiled. So I'm going to try, hopefully within the next month, I'm going to try to do an open spoiler discussion, just me talking and explaining my thoughts on this movie. But that's all I think about this movie. That's all I can say about this movie without giving away too much. And I really hope you guys have a wonderful time with this movie if you haven't seen it already. I really hope you guys enjoy this movie for the first, second, or maybe even third time you watch it. And just enjoy life. That's my takeaway from this wonderful, wonderful movie. So, thank you guys for watching. Avengers, assemble! Hello again, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.